Thank you, sir. So, good evening, all. My topic for today is pulmonary hypertension in atrial septal defect, a word of caution needing thinking twice before closure of the defect. So, atrial septal defect is most prevalent adult congenital heart disease, and untreated large shunt can have risk of Eisenmenger syndrome with estimated prevalence of 9 to 17%, and the incidence increases with the age of the patient. In patients with pulmonary hypertension, some studies report that ASD closure is associated with better long-term outcomes, that is, reduction of atrial arrhythmias and the PH severity. However, some other studies report that the subset of patients may develop pulmonary hypertension or suffer from persistent pulmonary hypertension following the closure. So, the aim of our study was to assess the outcome of patients who underwent ASD closure in the past and are having residual pulmonary hypertension. So it was a retrospective observational study. All patients who had residual pulmonary hypertension after ASD closure presenting to the pulmonary hypertension clinic were included. Data at the time of ASD closure was analyzed and current medications and echo findings were recorded. So our study included 12 patients and incidence was 5 times higher in female patients. The median age at the time of ASD closure was 23 years and ranging from 1 year to 29 years. So, three of our 12 patients had undergone ASD closure and early in the childhood, as can be seen in this table, and all of the majority of them had evidence of pulmonary hypertension by the echo parameters. So, median pre-op systolic PA pressure was 95, ranging from 50 to 110 millimeters of mercury. In the CAT data, basal median QPQS was 1.4, and after nitric oxide, it has increased to 1.8. PA pressure, mean PA pressure had dropped from 52 to 34 millimeters of mercury. PVRI had dropped from 9.7 to 4, with RPRS ratio of 0.53 at baseline and 0.36 after nitric oxide. So 9 patients had undergone complete ASD closure, 3 patients underwent fenestrated ASD closure, and 2 patients had undergone ASD device closure. So these are the follow-up data of all the patients. All the patients are having pulmonary hypertension at follow-up. So median follow-up duration was 8 years, ranging from 1 year to 37 years. All the patients are having severe pulmonary hypertension. 7 patients are in WHO functional class 2. 2 patients are in WHO functional class 3, and 1 patient is in WHO functional class 4. 3 patients had severe RV dysfunction. 1 patient is having evidence of liver dysfunction secondary to the congestive cardiac failure, and one patient has undergone perforation of ASD patch. When we worked up for secondary causes of pulmonary hypertension, we found that 4 patients has connective tissue disorder, 2 patients with mixed connective tissue disorder, and 2 patients have SLE. 1 patient is having Abernethy malformation. 1 patient is having pulmonary vena occlusive disease. 2 patients have hypothyroidism. 1 patient is having TAR syndrome. Cause was not clear in remaining patient, and genetic testing could not be done because of logistic issues. All of them are on currently pulmonary vasodilators. 9 of them are on dual pulmonary vasodilators, and 2 patients are on triple pulmonary vasodilators, that is additional inhaled iloprost. Among the cohort, 3 patients had initial improvement after the ASD closure, and subsequently, after a period of time, they had a gradual deterioration in the functional class and PA pressure also. So, 2 patients have died during the follow-up. So pulmonary hypertension in atrial septal defect is an acquired disease. Pulmonary hypertension is rare below the age of 20 years and relatively common after the age of 40 years. That is the traditional training. But this is a paper from CMC Vellore, and they found that the incidence of pulmonary hypertension is as high as 40% in patients below the age of 10 years, and similar incidence in the patients between the age of 11 to 20 years. They also compared Eisenmenger reaction, which was seen in 9% below the age of 10 years. And when they compared with the other age groups, the incidence was statistically significant. So the association between age and pulmonary occlusive disease is there, but may not be a linear relation, because not all patients with chronic volume overload will develop pulmonary hypertension. And similarly, the rate of progression of the pulmonary hypertension may be faster in some of the patients. So possibly it is a multifactorial relation. Patients with ASD with pulmonary hypertension can have 4 types of presentation, like no or mild PH with large shunt, and in which closure is advised. Large defect with severe irreversible pulmonary vascular disease, that is Eisenmenger group, and in which closure is contraindicated. Small ASD with out of proportion pulmonary hypertension, in which again the ASD is possibly bystander and closure should not be done. And there is a large group of people who are having large left right shunt with severe pulmonary hypertension. Possibly no definite guidelines for these patients. Shunt closure is advised when the PVR is less than 6 and PVR SVR ratio of less than 0.3. And if the PVR drops to less than 8, if acute vasodilator test is positive. In our cohort, majority of the patient had similar results, but still they continued to have pulmonary hypertension after the shunt closure. So modified natural history after the ASD closure, some patients may have resolution of the pH and they may have normal PA pressure at follow-up. There will be a group of patients who might have persistent pulmonary hypertension, and there will be another group who have initial drop in the PA pressure, subsequently again rise in the pulmonary pressures. These are the secondary causes of pulmonary hypertension. So to conclude, pulmonary hypertension at ASD may be secondary, can be seen as early as in childhood also, and it needs thorough evaluation. Should consider to close the ASD only if we are sure that there is no other cause for the pulmonary hypertension. As we all know, Eisenmenger ASD is still better than the idiopathic pulmonary hypertension. Thank you all.